Hi children, welcome to the online classes of Pragathi this school. This is Mrs. Mohanamba, your English teacher. We have already completed 5 lessons and 5 poems in school. So now I shall begin with poem 6, That Time of Year by William Shakespeare. Children, let's know about William Shakespeare. He was an English poet, playwright and actor. He was born on 26th April 1564 in Stratford. He is widely regarded as the greatest writer in English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. He has written 154 sonnets. Children, a sonnet is a poem of 14 lines. He is often called England's national poet. He died on 23rd April 1616. Some of his famous poems are Venus and Adonis, A Lover's Complaint, The Passionate Pilgrim, etc. Let's know the summary of the poem. This is Sonnet 73 of William Shakespeare. Here, the poet is imagining himself to be in his old age. In the first stanza, he compares his age to the autumn season when very few leaves are left on the branches and the birds no longer take shelter. In the second stanza, he compares his age to the evening, which will slowly be engulfed by the black night. In the third stanza, he compares his age to the glowing embers that lie upon the ashes. In the couplet, he is urging his friend to understand that he is in his old age. He felt that if his friend would come to know his state, the friend's love for him would increase. Now we come to the end of the summary, students. I shall recite each stanza and explain. That time of year. That time of year thou mayst in me behold, when yellow leaves or none or few do hang upon those boughs which shake against the cold, bare ruined coils where late the sweet bird sang. Children, now listen to the explanation. You have to understand one thing, children. While writing this poem, the poet was not actually old. The poet is only imagining himself to be in his old age. In the first quatrain, he is comparing his old age to the autumn season. In autumn season, the trees are bare and the birds do not take shelter. We move on to the second stanza, which is again of 4 lines. In me thou seest the twilight of such day, as after sunset fadeth in the west, which by and by black night doth take away, death's second self that seals up all in rest. Here the poet is comparing his old age to evening. Evening slowly disappears and the dark night engulfs the entire world. He calls the dark night as death's second self, as we all sleep at night without having any consciousness. We move on to the third stanza. In me thou seest the glowing of such fire, that on the ashes of his youth doth lie, as the deathbed whereon it must expire, consumed with that which it was nourished by. In this quatrain, he is comparing to the embers. The embers slowly die out and the ashes remain. The ashes represent death. This shows that the poet is very close to death. Now we shall have the last couplet, that is the last 2 lines. This thou perceivest, which makes thy love most strong, to love that well which thou must leave ere long. In this couplet, he says that if his friend comes to know that he is very close to death, his love for him would become stronger. The poet's main intention in this poem is to make us realize that old people need our love and attention. So take care of the old in your house. Thank you, children.